y'all ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Miss Haley Hobson.
Hey, you guys. Are you having fun yet? All right, I've got some really personal stuff to share with you tonight. So I want you to repeat after me. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. First of all, I want to thank you for having me here tonight. I'm really excited to be here. I'm proud to be part of this event as a woman, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and as a sort of a newbie to this industry. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope that I have some great words to inspire you with. So, I want to tell you a story about what happened to me last week. I woke up on Tuesday morning, and I woke up before my husband. I wake up early on Tuesdays and Thursdays to take a spin class at my gym. And I thought I'd be the good wife and take the dog out and feed the dog before he got up, so that when he got up, all he had to do was get the kids out the door. So he surprised me on my way out, woke up, came downstairs, and started screaming at me because the dog had come in with muddy paws. I didn't know that there was water outside. I had been out of town the whole week before, and I didn't realize there was mud right in the side yard where the new house was being built. But Wes went ballistic. His thought was, Haley let the dog get muddy paws all over the floor, all over the kitchen, all over the living room, all the way up the hallway, and into the bed. So I said to him, honey, I love you so much. I'm off to my spin class. Good thing the cleaning ladies are coming here today. They can clean the floor and, bonus, wash our sheets. But he was still pissed off at his thought of Haley let the dog get muddy paws all over the floor. And his action was, he yelled at me, and the result was, for him, probably not so good. For me, I just went off, had my class, and had a great day. Now I came home later in the afternoon, or later in the morning, sat down at my desk, started working. Cleaning ladies came, they went. Floors are so freaking clean, I could eat off of them. And guess who let the dog out? And guess who let the dog come in with muddy paws? Now, I had a choice at this moment. My thought could have been, gosh, my husband is such a piece of, right? Or my thought could have been, he's just doing it to piss me off. Or my thought could have been, oh, he just doesn't love me. Look what he does. He knows I like clean floors, right? But I chose to have a different thought. And my thought was, my husband's so freaking cute. He sits here and he yells at me for getting mud all over the floors, and 3 hours later does the same freaking thing. Because I chose the thought that my husband is so cute, I did not get pissed off. I did not yell at him. And the result was, okay. I want to introduce to you guys a model today that has been blowing my world apart. A lot of us believe that we are victim to our circumstances. In fact, we think that our thoughts are our circumstances. Oftentimes we'll say things like, I just got a text a little while before that everyone's selling this around me in this area. And they believe that that's their circumstance. First of all, I've got news for you. Circumstances are facts, and they have to be proven in a state of law. Okay? So it's somebody's obviously thought or opinion, right, that everyone in this area is using this product. However, when we are in a circumstance, which we are, all of us are sitting at an event right now, all of us have thoughts. and thoughts run through our mind every second. Most of our thoughts are actually subconscious, and they're predetermined almost from our past. So somebody in this audience might be thinking, wow, this girl on stage, she totally rocks. And somebody else might be thinking, what are those pants that she's wearing? And they're all based on you, not me. Thank you. So when we have a thought, that thought generates a feeling inside of our body. And then the feeling determines our action, and the action gives us our results. So, in the past, I know that you guys have heard that our why should make us cry, right? And we have to always remember to come back to our why. And I think it's wrong. Not that it's totally wrong. I do believe you need to know why you're here, but I also believe you need to know that our results are determined by us, not outside circumstances. And the good news is that we have the power to change our results simply by going backwards and by looking at our thoughts. So when I was 22 years old, I was miserable. I was in law school, I was completely underweight, I was depressed, I was on anti-anxiety medication, and I saw the scale go down to under 100 pounds at one point. I graduated from law school with a straight A average. I don't know how. I was drinking too much. I was putting things into my body that I shouldn't have. And I was absolutely miserable. In fact, I wanted to show you a picture of how disgusting I looked at this age. And when I asked my mom, because we didn't have iPhones back then, we weren't snapping everything on Instagram for a picture for this event, she said, I didn't take a picture of you during that time period. And I was like, okay, that was like 5 years. The interesting thing is we'd never had this conversation up until now, 20-some years later. She said, you were very sick, Haley. I said, well, thanks, Mom, for telling me I was sick back then. You just ignored the whole circumstance. So, oftentimes we try to change what I call the C line, which is the circumstance, or the A line, which is the action when we're not satisfied with our results. So for example here, and you can write down this model, CTFAR, the circumstance was, I weighed something. The thought was, I was not thin enough, or I was not good enough, or I was not pretty enough, or people didn't like me, or whatever thought I was having. The feeling was, I was obviously insecure, and the action was, I continued to eat less and less and less. And the result was, I felt worse. Now let me give you another example. Let's just call her Sarah. She weighs 200 pounds. She wants to lose weight. The circumstances she wants to lose weight, the circumstances she weighs 200 pounds. That's a fact, right? She gets on the scale and it weighs 200 pounds. The thought is, she wants to lose weight, but she thinks it isn't possible, and she doesn't believe she can because she loves cheese too much. The feeling is she's depressed, she has numerous failed attempts. The action is she blows off the gym, she isn't strategic about her food choices, and as a result, she never loses weight. So are you guys seeing the pattern here? Our thoughts control our feelings, which dictate our actions, which then give us either a result or a non-result. So what I want you guys to understand, what I hope that you take from this now, is a new way of looking at your own mind. Because like I said before, we have literally thousands of thoughts, thousands, that are running through our brain every single day. And again, most of them we aren't even aware of. Think about how many times you guys get in the car and drive somewhere that you know that you've been. Do you trust yourself to get there? right? You've been driving for so many years. Your actions are basically on autopilot. I have a 6-year-old. I would never put her in the driver's seat and let her drive. Would you? Right? She has not had the practice. She has not had it integrated into her brain, into her movements. And the problem is that so many times these thoughts that have happened because of circumstances in our past actually aren't even real. Like I said before, you guys are getting a totally different experience being here right now, all of you. There's going to be speakers that you love, there's going to be speakers that you don't resonate with. It doesn't matter. If we were all the constant, you'd have the exact same opinion, all of you, about all of us. But you don't, because of the way that you were raised and the way that you interpreted an event in your past. It's really interesting because I've often heard stories about sisters or twins who end up moving apart and later on come back to acknowledge an event that had happened in their life. This actually happens with me and my mom, or me and my sister. My mom will say something like, "Oh, I never fed you junk food when you were a kid." I'm like, right, we went to McDonald's every Tuesday night after Jessica had gymnastics. I remember it like clockwork, right? Her interpretation, or the sister's interpretation, is completely different. That's what our mind does. So I believe that this is going to blow your mind wide open when you start to recognize how many thoughts that you have. And this is not about affirmative or positive thinking. Like when Wes let the dog in the house with the muddy paws, I wasn't thinking, "Oh my gosh, he's so awesome." I was just like, whatever, it's pretty funny that he was yelling at me an hour before, right? It doesn't have to be like a positive affirmation that you're nailing onto your, mirror or your refrigerator in your car or on your phone. It's just noticing what you're thinking and deciding whether you want to continue that thought. So if you do choose another thought, or decide that you don't like the feeling that you're having in your body because of your thought, you'll be able to get a completely different result, assuming that you want one. Okay? Like for me, I got in a fight, second fight sort of, with my husband last week when he put a timer on Madeline, my 6-year-old's iPad time in the morning. And he said she could have 5 minutes. He said, "Haley, you're in charge." And I forgot. Okay, it happens, right? I was busy. Those are thoughts, by the way. Busyness is a thought. And he came upstairs and he's yelling at me and getting all mad at me. And he really tried to initiate a huge fight with me over, guess how long she was on the iPad? 6.5 minutes. Like, seriously? All right, come on. But I mean, I went into my car to go to the gym again that day, and I could feel it in my body. I could feel myself shaking. I could feel my blood boiling. I could feel my eyes welling up and wanting to cry at my thought that my husband is so mean to me. I chose to have a different thought because I didn't really believe that. What I decided to believe instead was that he just needs more personal development than me. No, for real, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, you know what? He just doesn't know how to control his emotions. And that was okay with me. And you know what? I had a perfectly good day again. And if he didn't, that's his fault for having those thoughts that I should have been more on top of things with a friggin' timer, okay? So let's go back to Sarah for a second. She weighs 200 pounds. She wants to lose weight. The thought is she wants to lose weight, but it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna be so worth it. And the feeling that she now has is she's excited to get out of her comfort zone and get it going. And the action now, because she's super passionate and excited, is that she goes to the gym and she's super enthusiastic and she focuses all of her energy on getting in shape. And the result is she loses the weight and she starts to feel great and inspires others to help her. And guess what? She still likes cheese, but she was more excited about